Good morning, James. Thanks for agreeing to be interviewed. So, first question, how long have you been a hypnotherapist?
Good morning. I've been a hypnotherapist for around about 8 years now, professionally.
And how did you get into hypnotherapy in the first place?
Surprisingly enough, I got into it by being recommended to go and see a hypnotherapist around about 11, 12 years ago for confidence and anxiety. And I went ahead, I went and met the hypnotherapist, and we did some sessions together, and the difference was immense. It changed my life completely. And that's what made me basically want to get into it and want to help other people that were in the same position as me. Just get that weight lifted from their shoulders and be able to have a fresh start at life. And I was really interested in that, and I was really excited to find out that I could actually do it myself. And that's what got me into it.
So, what actually is hypnosis?
Hypnosis is a state of mind. Hypnosis is a wonderful state of mind. I can give you some examples. For the perfect example is when you drive from A to B and you get out of your car at the end of the journey, but you don't remember doing the whole journey. It's almost like you've gone into a state of trance. Another instance, which I do a lot, is reading. When you read, and you could read pages out of a book and you'll stop reading and you'll realise that even though you've read every single word, that you didn't actually take any of it in, almost like your mind was somewhere else. You could even be sat on the sofa like I am now, and somebody could be shouting your name from across the room or from a different room, shouting repeatedly, James, 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 and eventually you hear them. It's like you've been woken up, but you were already awake. And by using these examples, it helps you understand that you're actually wide awake, that you're just almost somewhere else, like time stopped. And that's actually the process of your conscious mind stopping and your subconscious mind being wide awake. And that is hypnosis.
Can anybody be hypnotised?
Everybody can be hypnotised, but on all different levels, and you need to be on a certain level for a certain result. This is why it's important to have consultations before any therapy sessions are organised, so that you can find out that you can actually get to the level of hypnosis for the results that you desire.
Unlike other hypnotherapists, you tend to specialise in anxiety. Why did you choose anxiety?
I chose anxiety because the results for all the therapies are amazing. But for anxiety, because I suffer from anxiety myself, I can empathise with how people are feeling, and it's such a difficult situation to be in when you're thinking and worrying about things that you genuinely know in your mind you shouldn't be worrying about. And it's very difficult to explain unless you've had anxiety, but it's almost like you can have a fire in front of you, but you're putting your finger in the flame, and you know you shouldn't, but you can't stop doing it, you're hurting yourself doing it. But with anxiety, you just cannot stop, because these thoughts, the worries are just going around in your mind, and you can be scared of everything. And so because I can empathise with that, because I've been there myself, I suppose it's instilled a passion inside me to help people that are in the same boat, and really get them to have that fresh start and be able to see the world with fresh eyes, and perhaps go back to how they were, or perhaps be the best version of themselves they can ever be. I think that's why anxiety is my favourite.
What exactly is anxiety?
Anxiety is a fear. It could be the fear of anything, fear of the unknown. And anxiety is actually very useful. If you've never thought about anxiety before, I can give you an example. Perhaps you're late for something that's important to you, and you get that feeling inside, like a worry, and it makes you hurry up. So perhaps you get there a little bit quicker. And in these instances, this is important. It's almost like having a light pop up on the dashboard in the car that tells you something's wrong. So then you can deal with that problem and therefore fix the car. And then when you have anxiety or feelings, then it basically tells you that something is wrong and you need to do something about it. But anxiety issues are when you have too much of this. And this is when you can be in a perpetual state of anxiety and constantly worried, and it can manifest because you can feel bad about something, and then before you know it, it rolls into something else, and then you can feel bad all day. And sometimes it causes a lot of overthinking, a lot of over worrying, and fear in general, but you can have so many different kinds of anxiety. It all depends on the person and their experiences.
How exactly does hypnotherapy work with anxiety?
Well, hypnotherapy works with anxiety as well as other things that are similar with stress and depression. By releasing the negative emotions from your mind, you can imagine I have a client in front of me who tells me they've been suffering anxiety for 7 years, and 7 years ago they may know what happened, they may not know what happened, but they're aware that for the last 7 years they felt differently, and perhaps it's manifested and they've been feeling worse. And the fantastic thing with hypnotherapy is you're speaking directly to the subconscious mind, which is where all your emotions are kept under lock and key, the key holder being the conscious mind. And through hypnotherapy, we can get the conscious mind to step out of the way and then instill positive suggestions to get rid of all the negative layers from the mind. And then the conscious mind comes back and all the changes have been made. It's quite interesting because when I help people with anxiety and fears, for example, a great example is I'll get rid of somebody's fear of flying. And as soon as they open their eyes, perhaps they've brought their husband or their wife with them, depending on who they are, and the husband or wife will say, well, how do you feel? How do you feel? And they'll be quite pushing them to get an answer because they're interested, they've watched, they've heard everything that I've said, and I guess they really want it to work for their partner. And they'll say to them, how do you feel? And how do you feel about aeroplanes? And you can see the client is with their eyes looking up, and it's almost like they're searching their mind because they're so used to having it there. But it's not, it's gone. It's completely gone. And after a while, it's almost like the realization hits them that there's just no fear there anymore. It's really quite interesting thinking about it.
What do you do when you're not working, James?
When I'm not working, I have many different hobbies. I love to box, I love to go to the gym, I love walking, I love playing tennis, and a Spanish version of tennis which is called paddle. I like to self-educate, I love to read. I follow different life coaches. I find all that very interesting. So these are the things I love.
Do you see clients on a one-to-one basis?
I do. I see clients on a one-to-one basis. I see them face-to-face if they're near me, location-wise, depending on where I am, between England and Spain. And obviously I see them remotely via the internet using applications like Skype's very popular, and Zoom as well. I've even done hypnotherapies through WhatsApp video chat. So yeah, I see clients all the time. Usually we organise a consultation first, which is free, and then we would go straight into our first session. The sessions can last up to an hour, no longer. After the consultation, I have a perfect idea of exactly what I'm going to do for the sessions. So yeah, I really enjoy that part of my work, definitely.
What gave the idea to set up AnxietyAudios.com?
Well, originally, years ago, I created audios that I could give to my clients after I'd given them a face-to-face hypnotherapy session. Say, for example, somebody come to see me for weight management, I would give them an audio, and it used to be a CD. And then they would go and listen to that. It would be aftercare, you could call it. So I had all of these ready-made recordings in my laptop. And then when the quarantine happened in the area where I was based, I realised it'd be a fantastic thing to be able to get these audios to people all over the world, because obviously they'd be in a slightly difficult situation, perhaps not earning the same amount of money they would usually earn to be able to see a hypnotherapist and pay for sessions. So I had an idea of creating a website and having these audios on the website that people can pay for and download straight to their device. And then it escalated. Obviously, we thought of more audios and different styles of hypnotherapy. So it evolved, and now we're creating all different products that are on that website. So that's how it began.
What's your favourite hypnotherapy audio and why?
My favourite hypnotherapy audio, I love all of them, which sounds maybe strange because I made all of them. I guess one of my favourites is one of my favourites that I do face to face a lot, which is the dome room. This can be used for different issues, but the dome room is a cool one because people actually imagine themselves in a dome room with a fire pit in the middle, and I get them to imagine lots of post-it notes around the wall of the dome room. Obviously it's one wall, and you can imagine lots of white post-it notes and lots of black post-it notes. And all the black post-it notes represent all of the negativity in their mind. So it could be overthinking, over-worrying, nervousness, fear, phobias. And so I get them to imagine taking these black post-it notes and throwing them into the fire pit, watching and listening to them burn, smelling them burn, and therefore getting rid of all the negative layers, all in this dome room, getting everything into the fire pit, and then you leave the room, and then we continue with the therapy. But this is one of my favourites.
What kind of people normally download your hypnotherapies?
Everybody. I mean, it was at the beginning, obviously, you don't know who's going to download the audios, but you can see from the reviews, so many different people, from teenagers to older people, men, women, all different backgrounds, and from all over the world. I think there is literally there's something for everybody there.
So, what's your plans for the rest of the day, James?
My plans for the rest of the day is I have a client in 40 minutes. After that, I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to go to the gym, and then I have my next client, which is actually via Skype, and that's with somebody from Shropshire. And then I have another one, which is actually thinking about it, that's by Skype as well. That's later on this afternoon, and that's with a gentleman from South Africa, I believe. I'll have to check my diary, but that's what I'll be doing tonight, relaxing.
Are you working on anything new at the moment?
Yes, I am. I'm working on 7-day courses. At the moment, I'm working on for sleep deprivation and of course for anxiety. In the future, going to be looking at other areas and possibly blood pressure and things like this, but all about the 7-day courses.
Okay, it's been great to catch up with you, James, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you. You too.